to Saxthorpe Farms, and we have a bunch of different jobs to get done today. The first one is I am going to get courseplay going with liming field 5. I feel like I've been doing a lot of liming and fertilizing lately, so we're going to let courseplay do some of that work. Also picked up a bunch of fertilizing contracts, which I'm going to get done with the last bit of March 3. And then as soon as we get into April, we'll do some planting because we need to, basically. We've got 3 fields to plant. So I ended up, I don't know if I show it, so I'll talk about it now. I ended up having a bit of a faff around with the crop rotation because I seem to have got myself in a position where I was going to have at least a couple of fields which had the same crop in. So I've had a bit of a play. I've got something that sort of works and means we're going to get different crops planted, which is kind of a bit more interesting. So I should have set auto drive up at the same point there because one spreader of lime is not going to be enough. Most of the fields do need a fair bit of lime. But while that's working, one of the spreaders is empty. So we're going to fill it up with fert and get some work done. Well, get some contracting done, bring some more cash in. So I think originally I spoke about the fact that I wanted to get 2 fields when I brought 1 field. I did buy 1 bigger field, so I would still like to pick up another field at some point in this, before harvest. I'm going to be a little bit cheaty and we're going to pick up a field probably in late spring before harvest if we can earn enough cash. So that might involve, once all of our fields are planted and taken care of, heading off to the Oaks to do some contracting there. We know we can make good money down there. So particularly now we've got the 2 spreaders, we could just go and hammer fert contracts, I suspect, and make a load of cash, which would be good because then we could buy a field. I'm not sure where to go next land-wise on here. I'm half looking at some of the grass fields to start thinking about getting into grass work. Mowers keep cropping up in the sales, along with there's more Deutsch tractors in the sales. They're just teasing me. It's ridiculous. But there were more Deutsch tractors in the sales. There was a 6 Series and a 7 Series. The 7 Series, I think, was 50% off. It was so tempting. But I didn't. But there are quite often the Pottinger mowers cropping up, and I'm very tempted to pick a set up and just start seeing if we can get a set of grass working kit through the sales, because that would also mean I could do some baling contracts, which again is going to be good cash. So we've got a baler. Actually, we don't have a bale wrapper, but we could get into some hay contracts. So if I could get some mowers, a tedder and a windrower for a decent price, that would work quite well. So I say about not buying more tractors. There does come a point in today's video where it would have been really nice to have another slightly bigger tractor between the AgroStar and the 7 Series that we've got, like 6 Series that was on sale. Didn't buy. The other thing that I'm thinking about on here is, because the more land we own, the more money we make, I'm really pondering, and I might hang on until we get closer to harvest so I don't make more loan payments, maxing out the loan or close to maxing out the loan, buying another field or 2, because we'll make a lot of cash off it. So 18 grand there. The counter to that is it's nice having the contracts, but I guess we can always head down to the Oaks if we're short of work and we want contracts. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. if we can, pretty sure we can borrow a fair bit of cash. We can borrow enough to get a couple more fields. We'll speed things up. I think it's because I'm using the loan mod. I look at the loan very differently, because if I was just playing normally, I'd have just hit that space bar until the loan was all the way up and then brought what I could. But because you have to make loan payments every month, it makes it a slightly different proposition. You know, with the base game loan, you can just leave it. You can max it out and leave it until you finish almost, and you just make the interest payments, which aren't that high, and yeah. Whereas with this, you have to make capital repayments as well, which makes it slightly different. Another contract done, another 8 grand in the bank. We are getting through them fairly quickly. Some of them are decent size, some of them are tiny. We do get to see some of the very small fields on the map, and I'm half. So there's a bit of me that says if I buy them now, I don't have to buy them in the future. They're not great soil though, so and we don't have a great discount. So one of the things I will be concentrating on is buying fields that we have got the maximum discount on, and there are some where we've already maxed it out, and from what I remember when I brought the last field, it rolled over. So if we're doing jobs for the same people still, it doesn't matter. We're not missing out. The bit that I need to bear in mind is that if I buy a field later on, I can fertilize it with precision farming. I probably wouldn't lime it, although some of you would probably just say just do it anyway because it doesn't matter. So there's that. But I think buying just before harvest is a way of us maximizing the return while not going to be many vert contracts left on here, while minimizing the financial outlay. So yeah, I was going to try and say something profound, but it made no sense in my head, so I didn't bother. Yeah, I think I spoke last time on this map about the fact that Thompson Briscoe was going to have to update it. That's obviously changed, so yay, we can just carry on, which is cool. I was wondering what farm that was in front of me. It's actually the Admiral dealer, because we are up at the north of the map now. I really wish I could turn off the direction up map, the little round one. I hate it. Usually when I'm rewatching, I find it's really confusing to help orient me in the world. But because I was using the large map a moment ago, I didn't cycle to the the north up square, little square one, which is kind of like the base FS19 map. So the couple of mods have released recently. Cartex update to the Bale bunker released, so that was the bunker silo that I was using on here. That's on Mod Hub now. That was released as an update, and the update to Dashboard Live is live. Yep, and that's the one that had the mini map in it that I was using on here, and the Zerion is available as well. I put a link to that on Discord. It's on Glowin's GitHub. So, and that is a fully feature-enabled dashboard live tractor. So if you wanted an example to follow, download that, and it's got, you know, a lot of what you would need to do in the XML and the i3D. I did say I would do a tutorial on it, but it feels like one of those ones that's maybe a bit advanced. And I say that because I know it's going to push my abilities, and if it's pushing my abilities, it's then really hard for me to explain how to do it, and I know it will come with a lot of support requests. And, you know, it's quite interesting when I went through the camera system tutorial, and I said up front that it's quite complicated. It was really refreshing that a lot of people went, I'm just not going to do it then, rather than me getting loads of requests for my vehicle won't load. all of, or most of the base game vehicles are covered, and I keep an eye on things. So yeah, but that's a really cool mod. I need to actually add it in to the relevant saves. And here's a question for you. With farming the decades where we're in the 90s, I guess tractors would have had cameras in the 90s because they had all the screens. So I just think it could be kind of fun to add in. I would like to have a go at dashboard living a tractor. But not at the moment, because it's something that requires quite a lot of concentration, and my head is still quite messed up. So I'm trying something new with that, which I'm probably going to end up talking about a couple of times. So I was chatting to Paul yesterday, on Thursday. He's also a migraine sufferer, and he'd recommended some hemp-based products that he finds really helped, and I got an equivalent UK available in the UK versions, and I didn't find it was doing very much. And then I spoke to him yesterday, and he said he was taking triple the recommended dose, and I guess, it's not something that's going to hurt you if you overdose, or not overdose, if you take more than the recommended amount. So yesterday I started taking a lot more. So we'll see if that helps or not. At the moment, it's shifted. Maybe that's a good thing. So for the last week and a half now, it's coming up on 2 weeks actually. After the weekend, it will be 2 weeks if it hasn't gone. I've had a pain around my right eye, and that then pretty much every day has turned into a stabbing migraine type pain repeatedly throughout the day. I say migraine type pain because people understand that what I suffer with is something called cluster headaches, which really suck. And so medication that I've got, the new medication from the doctor is doing nothing. The old medication still does what it does, but actually when I've been taking it this time around, it's just been very temporary relief, not actually stopping it. But today it's, as I said, it's kind of both sides today. So hey, that's different. That'll be fun. If you're wondering why the money's dropping, the other tractor is running with auto drive and course play, and so it was buying the lime it needed for field 5. We need to go and do that little tiny corner. I could not believe that was enough to stop this contract completing. I thought sweeping around like that would have given me enough coverage. I think with small fields, you really can't miss very much. So I guess that was enough that it wouldn't complete, because as we go round, it completes. So this is one of the farmers we haven't done a lot of work for, so we've only got a 10% discount at the moment, but that is all the contracts done and a nice bit of cash in. So I'm going to go help. I've got course play liming field 10, which is our huge field, and I'm going to go load up and help with that, get that job finished before it gets too dark today. That means next game day, I'm going to work on seeding, and I'm going to have course play working on contracts, because there are some more that crop up, and we've only got one field left to lime, so that shouldn't take too long depending on how we do it. In fact, maybe that's what I'm sending course play off to do first. Yes, I am, in fact. Look at me, actually got it done. So field 8 still needs liming, so I'm going to get course play set up to do that with auto drive, and then I will get it off doing contracts. There are quite a few FERT contracts that have come up again as we've refreshed some of them on some of the fields that we've already done. some of those are going to be hanging around into the future videos, so we will see. No really dodgy jokes lined up today. Apparently the was it Springbok or whatever joke I did was amazingly funny and really awesome based on the comments that I've had so far. The one comment, maybe. I'm taking that as a positive rating. So, I'm sure you're all the same. You scroll through Facebook, you see these endless, stupid posts, jokes, funny things, and occasionally they tickle you, and that one did. So I think this is my new crop rotation. Yeah, this is my new crop rotation. So we are going to be planting sunflowers into field 5. And then I think we've got soybeans and sorghum to plant. So I'm not actually, I keep talking about feeder issues. I'm actually not bothered about the seeder now. It will be fine. We've got 6 game days to plant 3 fields. Yes, one of them's very big, but I think it'll be fine. I might end up doing some of that manually and some of that with course plate. We will see. But we're going to swap over to the planting unit for the sunflowers. Not doing tram lines in the sunflowers. They think they are a crop that's planted in rows. That's why we're putting on the planting unit, so we should be able to drive between them, which made life much easier for me because I didn't have to think about how to do tram lines. We've then got soybeans and sorghum, both of which probably will get tram lines. I was about to fill up, and in fact I do fill up with seed here, which I shouldn't have because we've got some seed in the shed. I think that's why I stopped. There we go. Got seed and fertilizer in the shed, so we should load up from those, save ourselves a bit of cash. I need to put a weight on the back of this tractor, as you will see in a moment. Yeah, I know I could have just backed in and hit R, but you guys know what I'm like. I kind of like doing this stuff, so I've not decided yet if we're going to stick with the combines for this year. Get one more year out of them and then look to replace them at harvest on sort of harvest 3, or there are some that crop up in the sales. And the problem with buying a combine, it's not really a problem, is it? Because you're saving money on the combine. But getting a matching header in the sales is really rare. So you end up taking a hit on one of them, whether you get the header or the combine on sale. I guess getting the combine on sale is really worth it if you're getting a new big combine, because they're like 400 grand. So picking up for 200 is a big saving. So I might have a ponder on that. See where the cash flow is. We did end up taking a loan out to buy one of the combines already, so it would probably be better if we could buy it with cash. I guess the benefit is the more combining ability we have, the more contracts we can do. Again, we can head to the Oaks to do harvesting contracts. So yeah, it's harvesting season in the UK. Well, it would be if it wasn't constantly raining. So I've not been watching much of Ollie blogs lately. He's one that I go on and off of, and he's had a few videos that have been a little bit too clickbaity for me, so I've not been watching them. So I'm not sure how he's getting on with harvest. So far I've seen no combining locally. I can't actually see a combinable field from the house. Normally I can, which is kind of nice. They've got corn growing in there this year, so I guess I might get to see the forage harvester running if I'm lucky. But yeah, last time I looked, there hadn't been any harvesting done on the local farm that I quite often run around. But I'm not running as much at the moment, so it's every chance I'm going to miss it. The headaches mean I'm not exercising really. Kind of when I can, I am, but not as much as I would be normally. And it's just because stuff hurts, you know. And it's really hard to mentally motivate yourself to do something physically hard when your head hurts and moving feels awful. I've had a couple of days where I've tricked myself and I've been got up, gone downstairs, sat and watched telly or watched some YouTube or played some farm sim or whatever, and it's like, it doesn't feel too bad, and then you stand up. Yeah. So you'll see, if you've not seen me say or not heard me say, I do have a doctor's appointment booked, but it's about a week and a half away, so that's why I'm trying some other things. Trying really hard to get my diet cleaned up again, which is really hard when your head hurts all the time, because I just want to eat comfort food, and comfort food is not good for my brain. So trying to be pretty good with that and keep off of the bad food. So I'm kind of hoping that between that, the CBD and hemp stuff, and the medication that I can take, and I'm still doing, I think I mentioned, I've been doing acupressure to try and help relax me. Actually, Mrs. D finds it really weird. If you don't know what acupressure is, it's basically laying on a mat covered in hard plastic spikes. She finds it really weird that I find that relaxing, but I fall asleep on there. So yep, it does something in my brain that just helps me switch off. So don't judge. Don't judge. Anyway, headlands are done. I think I did about 3 or maybe 4. And I'm going to run at a rather random angle, but this feels like kind of the longest run across the field. So that's what we're going to go for. I was going to do the direction that I ploughed, but it doesn't feel like a particularly long run. So, and where I've limed, you can't actually see the plough texture now anyway, so it's fine. I mean, normally I would worry about disking or cultivating the ploughed soil so that it was easier, but we've got plenty. We've got the wheels, we've got all the stuff on this. So I think I have said this is not from the horse DLC. This is from this is a convert from FS19, I think. And this is from the Vertex Designs Discord, from their community mod section. So I have got the horse DLC active, and we are going to be, as we need to buy new fieldwork kit, I'm going to be getting it from that. So where we can, we will be sticking Deutz and horse. There are some things that I've spoken about that won't be Deutz. There are no big Deutz combines, so I'm thinking about going Fendt for that. Fendt or Massey, I guess. The big black Fendt combine I think looks really cool. So I think it fits with kind of the fluorescent green Deutz tractors. So probably what I want to go for combine wise. I don't know why, but the seeder just tripped itself off there. I'm going to go with there was some sort of issue with the PTO and the hydraulics, and not that I must have accidentally hit the B key as I was driving and not realized, because I was scanning my phone for something at that point. It wasn't that. It was some sort of fault on the tractor. So one that you see quite often, and I saw it recently, so we may as well have a ramble about it, was, again, people asking, talking about we need flat tires and all this kind of thing. And I think, so having breakdowns and stuff, if you could turn them off, because I'm not, no, not a fan of it, but there are people that would want it. But I think the thing you have to realize, I think a lot of people forget, is that let's say you got a flat tire. That might take, so you've got to call someone out. They're going to come out. They're going to change the tire for you. Let's say in the real world, that takes a day. Now, I play on what I think is quite a slow style with 3-day months. So each day is 10 real days. So that means about 2.5 hours in game to get your tire fixed. And let's say you're playing on ×5. So that would mean it would take about half an hour of real time. Maybe. I think that's about right. Do you have someone come out and swap your tire? Do you really want to spend the half an hour you've got to play FS waiting for the tire repair dude to come? So I'm just setting up for a FERT contract on field 12. We should just be able to send auto drive and course play off together to do that job. Yeah, I think the fact that Giants don't have those specific things is intentional. Now, remember I added on FS19 when I was playing on Oak Hill. I added one of the vehicle maintenance mods in. And it was the one where once you got below a certain point, you would get breakdowns and you could buy a pallet of service parts. And I think it would take like part of a day to get your tractor serviced to fix it. The idea was cool. The implementation was not so much, because I think it cost like half the value of the tractor to service it or something. I remember I did it once and saw how much it cost and removed the mod. I think maybe things like that are, I mean, you kind of have it in a way that you pay repair cost and the repair costs are high. And I guess maybe you could have something where instead of that you buy service parts and then it takes time to service it, yeah, I'm not a fan of specific individual breakdowns. Don't think it works with the time scaling. I mean, the other one, I don't know whether I talked about this. Someone was talking about the realism of how often we refuel vehicles. And yeah, reality versus whatever. And I think they were complaining that they might have had to refuel their combine a few times a day in game versus an X9 can run all day, something like that. Take that as an example. But a game day, unless you're playing on 28 months, this example, it's 10 days. So the fact that I have to refuel a couple of times in a day, do you really want it to be realistic? Because that way you could, again, be refueling every 3 hours of work, depending on how, your days per month and stuff. So some of this stuff is really hard to scale. And I'm not saying Giants do it perfectly, because a lot of the stuff that they do is still based around 1 day per month. It's like I was saying a few videos ago, I can't remember which one it was. Growth transitions only happen at the ends of months or the beginnings of months, depending on how you look at it. Animal births only happen at the beginning or end of months. All that kind of stuff is done on a monthly cycle because the game was written that way originally. And so, you know, some of that scaling may not have been done perfectly, but you also have to remember that this is, and we know Giants haven't done a perfect job because we know there are some things which are badly balanced economically, but some things don't have realistic pricing because of the way things scale. The one that sticks out in my mind is I'm pretty sure most farmers don't get £1.50 per litre of milk because it doesn't cost that to buy it in a shop. But you can sell milk on here for, you know, 1,500 or more to pounds, dollars or euros per 1,000 litres. So, yeah, I think you have to take... I think that it's confused by the fact that sometimes the kit has realistic pricing because the manufacturers want that. And then, you know, everything else is not because it's scaled, because it's a video game. Yeah. So it's nearly done. And I am going to wrap up once we finish. I'm going to say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members at this point. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. I think I've just hit my microphone. And I still need to get a notepad, a new notepad up here, because I don't have one here, which is a bit annoying. I'm using a piece of card from a medication box, which has some keyboard shortcuts written on it. I know. I'm so professional. Oh, if you could see the state of my desk, which I'm not going to show you, and I'm not going to tell you really about, apart from the fact that it is an utter mess. I seriously need to have a tidy up. There's a couple of AliExpress packages. Sorry, Cartech, I haven't got around to sorting that out yet. Empty coffee mugs, water bottles, medication packets. I'm painting a pretty picture, aren't I? One of the many things that I need to do when my head's not hurting is tidy this room up completely. But I also need, actually I need it to not be raining because I really badly need to mow the lawns. And I think fix my neighbour's fence because they aren't fixing it. And there's now 2 slats almost missing, which the dogs can stick their heads through. So I think I'm going to have to just fix them. Which is a bit annoying. Yeah, 2 more rows to go. Obviously, we have lots more planting to do on here. So that's going to be the next few videos, basically. I might end up doing it in one. And we've got a bunch of rolling. You might have spotted I tabbed to the Agro Star with the roller on the back. I don't know if it's going to be able to pull it or not. I had half hoped that I could get the roller going while I was finishing the seeding, but I couldn't get Courseplay to give me a course that I wanted. So, and that's where I was saying that having a, 180 horsepower tractor, something like that, would be really nice. The Agro Star's only 100, I think. No, it might not pull the rollers when they're actually working. We'll see. If not, I'll do it. I'll have to pause the contracting work and get the other 7 series over. But we are making decent money and there are plenty more to go. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, click the like button. Any comments, questions or suggestions, stick them below and I will see you next time on Saxthorpe Farms.